Hey everybody, and welcome to Kevin Kraut YouTube channel. Hopefully everybody is having a great day today. Hopefully so. Y'all see me? I'm not sure y'all see me. We're going to be discussing week 7 of the college football season. This week, Clemson definitely plays this week, I know that. They play Syracuse. Let's see. You have Marshall versus North Texas. I'm going to go with Marshall. And then you have Clemson playing this Friday. That's tomorrow, actually, but Clemson's gotten so bad they're playing on Friday. Clemson versus Syracuse. I'm going with Syracuse on this one. California versus Oregon. Going with Oregon. San Diego State versus San Jose State. I'm going with San Jose State. Then you have UCF versus Cincinnati. Going with Cincinnati. Cincinnati looking really good. Michigan State versus Indiana. Going with Michigan State. Oklahoma State versus Texas. Going with Oklahoma State. Auburn versus Arkansas. We're going with Arkansas. Florida versus LSU. Going with Florida. Texas A&M versus Missouri. I'm going with Texas A&M. Nebraska versus Minnesota. I'm going with Nebraska. Rutgers versus Northwestern. I'm going with, Rutgers on this one. Yale versus UConn. Go with UConn. Tulsa versus South Florida. Go with Tulsa. Ohio versus Buffalo Bulls. I'll go with Ohio. Duke versus Virginia. Go with Duke. Ball State versus Eastern Michigan. I'll go with Eastern Michigan. Akron versus Miami, Ohio. I'm going with Akron. Troy versus Texas State. I'm going with Texas State. Kentucky versus Georgia. I'm going with Georgia. Purdue versus Iowa. I'm going with Iowa. BYU versus Baylor. I'm going with Baylor on this one. Western Kentucky versus Old Dominion. I'm going with Old Dominion. UAB versus Southern Miss. Going with UAB. Miami versus North Carolina. I'm going with North Carolina. Pittsburgh versus Virginia Tech. Go with Pittsburgh. Toledo versus Central Michigan. Go with Central Michigan. Bowling Green versus Northern Illinois. I'm going with Northern Illinois. Kent State versus Western Michigan. Going with Western Michigan. Arizona versus Colorado. I'm going with Arizona. Fresno State versus Wyoming. I'm going with Wyoming. Vanderbilt versus South Carolina. I'm going with South Carolina. I think South Carolina beats Vanderbilt because Vanderbilt is very bad this year. Texas Tech versus Kansas. I'm going with Texas Tech. Rice versus UTSA. I'm going with UTSA. Alabama versus Mississippi State. We'll go with Alabama. Liberty versus UL Monroe. I'm going with Liberty. Colorado State versus New Mexico. I'm going with New Mexico. Utah State versus ULV. I'm going with ULV. TCU versus Oklahoma. I'm going with Oklahoma. Ole Miss versus Tennessee. I'm going with Tennessee. NC State versus Boston College. I'm going with NC State. Iowa State versus Kansas State. I'm going with Kansas State. Stanford versus Washington State. I'm going with Washington State. Army versus Wisconsin. I'm going with Wisconsin. Louisiana Tech versus UTEP. I'm going with UTEP. Air Force versus Boise State. I'm going with Boise State. Arizona State versus Utah. I guess Arizona State. Hawaii versus Nevada. I'm going with Nevada on that one. Let's talk about South Carolina versus Tennessee. Now that was a bad game, yes, I'll admit it. The play calling was pretty horrendous. Coastal Carolina does not play this weekend. They play App State next Saturday. Or I think it's Saturday. But I'm just amazed. You can probably learn a thing or two about Coastal Carolina. Say what you will, they're in a lower conference, but they are kicking butt this year, like they did last year. I would not. If South Carolina can win 6 games, they are predicted to go against Coastal, which I don't know if that's true or not. Do y'all think that's true or not? Comment down below. And Clemson, I don't know what they're going to do. There's no telling. They might lose to Syracuse. They have not been the same teams as they once were. Both South Carolina and Clemson have been playing really bad lately. So, yeah. I almost feel bad for Clemson, even though I don't pull for Clemson. It's not like them. No, actually, Coastal Carolina plays App State Wednesday, October the 20th. I think Coastal Carolina's going to win that one, hands down. I mean, I'm not saying App State can't. App State is a physical team, but I don't see App State beating a good Coastal team. And back to South Carolina losing to Tennessee. Yes, I don't know what happened. The play calling, it's just been horrendous. They don't really have any. I don't know. They still have players from the Muschamp era, which I think in 2022 is going to be a better year for South Carolina, in my opinion. If they do these simple things, as they'll have better players. They'll get rid of the ones that they don't need, the ones that are slowing down. And of course, South Carolina didn't get dealt. Georgia got dealt the player. Why did he go to Georgia? I don't know. And if you like this video, don't forget to like and share and subscribe. And hopefully Gamecocks can beat Vanderbilt and work on winning some games and maybe hopefully getting the bowl game the first year of Beamer, Coach Beamer. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Coastal's already won 6 in a row. They haven't lost any. They're already bowl eligible. Gotta win 6 games to get bowl eligible. I don't know if Clemson can win 6 games this year. That's a big question mark. They've been losing more than they win this year. I mean, they did lose a lot of their good defense, and they lost Trevor Lawrence from the NFL. And Trevor Lawrence hasn't been doing too well in the NFL. So, I will see y'all later.